Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister, Jonathan Simmons. We thank God for all those of you who decided to tune in here and join us on the broadcast. Remember, if you follow us on social media, you know what to do. Well, maybe you don't. Just let me tell you how you do it. Here it is right here. Follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. And remember, if you're on YouTube, dun, 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 subscribe, and then hit that little bell and bing, and you get notifications every time we are on the air. And we thank everyone who's been watching us because we are now just inches away from that big number of 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Can't believe we're at 1996. So hopefully you guys can, click on there, tell your mama, tell auntie, all your relatives, go on, click on and subscribe to Real Talk Sports, please. And again, it's really easy. Real Talk Sports, the number 7. That's how you do it. And we appreciate you so much. Speaking of appreciate the panel that we have tonight. We have a wide-ranging group of panelists. First of all, this gentleman has been covering Georgia Tech sports for quite some time. Website is gojackets.com. Our good friend Rod McKenzie's in the building. Rod, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And also, another gentleman is doing some great things in the community. He has the Student Athlete Playbook and also does a lot with his other nonprofit as well. Mr. Barry Brown is in the building. Barry Brown, welcome back, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Jonathan. Yes, sir.
Good to be here. And a guy that's with me like every Friday night. We've also sojourned down and done some stuff on Super Bowl back in Miami. And he's the camera guy. So all those highlights you guys see, this is the man that does it. Jason, our cameraman, is in the building. Jason, hello, sir. How are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
I think we're all doing fantastic. Well, we're going to kick it off as we do with some college football. And once again, the Yellow Jackets, Rod, are making me look like I'm doing some profit stuff right here. I told everybody before the season that the Jackets were a team to contend with, a team that could possibly contend for a playoff berth, and the Jackets won a thriller. Talk to us about that game. Georgia Tech against Wake Forest on the road remain undefeated as they squeak out a 30-29 victory.
Yeah, that were several times while I was sitting in the press box, especially in that fourth quarter, where I felt, well, this game is over, and Wake Forest is going to upset Georgia Tech. But credit to the team, they kept fighting. They found, this is a sign of a good program when you find ways to win a game when you probably shouldn't have won the game. And Haynes King started out slow, but boy, he really poured it on in the second half when you look at the stats.
Yeah, huge game by Haynes King, a guy that I've talked about has to be a contender again for the Heisman Trophy. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at his stats. Once again, he was a one-man wrecking crew for Georgia Tech. 28 of 42 pass attempts, 243 yards, a touchdown, and more importantly, no interception. And he also led the Jackets in rushing, 21 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. So once again, Haynes King, over 300 yards in total offense. And like I said, again, pretty much a one-man wrecking crew for the Jackets. He personally accounting for 340 of the Jackets' total of 411 yards of total offense.
Yeah, and that's after only having 75 yards in the first half. So that was pretty amazing. And he broke Joe Hamilton's record of 13 games scoring a touchdown and throwing for a touchdown.
And certainly Joe Hamilton, one of the legendary Jackets of all time, guys. I believe he's in the Jacket Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Yeah, and Joe's one of my favorites, and his son's out there doing it now, so keep an eye on him, and maybe he'll get that scholarship he's looking for.
But that'd be something. And Barry, you familiar with Joe Hamilton? Matter of fact, we did a few years back. We did some shows with Joe. So what do you think about the Tech's rise to prominence here and sniffing at the heels of the Bulldogs in the rankings?
Well, I love it, because I've been a long-time fan going all the way back to Jerry Mays when he was the outstanding running back for the Yellow Jackets. And then, Pat Swilling and Ken Swilling and all these great Donnie Davis is a friend of mine. And so, yeah, I've been a long-time Jacket fan, and I'm just excited to see what they're doing out on the field. And, hey, like Rod said last week, listen, Haynes King is a beast out there on that field. And anytime he's on the field, your team has a chance to win. So I'm excited for what they're doing, man. And that game this weekend, we got a very favorable call at the end of that game. But I looked at it like a makeup call because of what happened in the first half with that fumble. And Rod, I would love to get your opinion on that. Was that what I thought that was a true fumble? It looked like he should have, when he passed the ball would have been released before he got hit. So it looked like he was trying to tuck it again and then got hit and fumbled. What was your what?
Yeah,
what was
I felt that way, and I talked to some other people, and they felt he was trying to bring the ball down. So, like you said, so he could tuck it. So, as my friend Annie Demetra said to me today, our friend at Notre Dame, who had the movie named after him, he was offsides too. So with those two plays, it's a wash.
There you go.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Well, Jason, I don't know if you got a chance to see the highlights, but what do you think about the Jackets and their continual surge here in this 2025-26 season? Like I said, again, nipping at the heels of the Bulldogs in the rankings.
Yeah, the Jackets are really a surprise this year, and they're playing such good football. And you talk about, how Haynes King really has his team going. What are some other areas that you notice are strengths for the Yellow Jackets this season that might be helping them to be able to win the games they've won so far?
I think the one thing that's overlooked is the special teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aiden Burr, he hasn't missed, and he had a lot on his shoulders last year after some misses that he felt responsible for the team losing games. So he made it the point of going out there this summer and really preparing himself for this season. And I just got an email. He was named the Lou Groza Kicker of the Week. So he's made over 80% of his field goals this year in his career. I'm sorry, and that's the number one all time in Georgia Tech history.
Wow,
that's
we know
incredible.
the special teams is important. Yeah.
Jason, we saw that in high school football, and we'll talk about that later in the segment. We saw a couple of games come down to those last moments, and the teams that had a better kicker were able to pull it out. Let's take a look at the college football rankings here, and this, I believe, is the AP poll. So let's go on with the top 5 first. At number 1, the Ohio State Buckeyes at 4-0, 3-0 at home, and 1-0 on the road. They are numero uno. Oregon pulls up to number 2 after them knocking off the previously undefeated Penn State, who was number 3. The U, number 3, Ole Miss. After their big win on the road, they now are 5-0, and they, believe it or not, boys and girls, they are the highest ranked SEC teams in the poll. And speaking of SEC teams, the next 2 are also from the SEC, but unexpected. At number 5, Oklahoma at 4-0, Texas A&M at 4-0, followed by Penn State, number 7. Indiana, once again, back in the news at number 8, 5-0. Texas, number 9 at 3-1, and Alabama rounds out the top 10 at 3-1. So again, the SEC dominant with several teams in that top 10, but the shockers really are Ole Miss and Oklahoma. I mean, guys, who knew that those 2 teams would be ahead? I mean, substantially ahead of both Georgia and Alabama. Who knew?
Yeah, I think Oklahoma finally it dawned on them that they have to play defense in addition to offense. So I think that's helped them this year. And they have, like Haynes King, they have one of the top quarterbacks in the country also.
And no doubt, I can't think of the young man's name right now, but yeah, he also, just like Haynes King, every time you see Oklahoma play, he is dominant on the field. And really, the thing that's very interesting watching him, I saw him in the Michigan game. Like Haynes King, he just can't seem to be stopped. And of course, the young man I'm talking about, John Mateer. Yeah, we look at the opening game against Michigan, he looked like Haynes King, 270 yards in the air, 74 yards on the ground, 350 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns total. And he's doing that week in and week out. So, yeah, man, kudos to Oklahoma by finding, again, a Heisman Trophy type candidate to spark that team. With Ole Miss, well, Lane Kiffin is Lane Kiffin. So, at some point, he's going to be able to put things together at some point. And now I think, Rod, the same thing. Their offense and defense is much more well-balanced. And I think that Lane Kiffin himself is much more well balanced. So I think at the end of the day, that has helped them. And they have played well in every game. And of course, the big game was them knocking off LSU 24-19 last week, and that put them firmly in the top 5 category. What do you think it's going to take for them to continue to do well? Let me just read some stats really quickly. Their quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, he was the key, 23 of 39, 314 yards and a touchdown. Keelan Lacey, their running back, 23 carries, 87 yards, as they rolled up almost 500 yards of offense against LSU. But the big thing I think I mentioned earlier is their defense, stifling LSU's running game, holding them to just 57 yards on the ground and a total of 254 yards of total offense. I mean, can they maintain that? I mean, that's pretty stout against a pretty good LSU team.
Yeah, I think you're going to see in that top 20, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs for those teams. And just because of the competition, you have some teams stepping up in the ACC now in addition to the SEC. So teams are going to have a hard time getting through the season without losing any more games.
And what do you guys think? And I know, Jason, you're a Bulldog fan. I don't want to say a shocker, but the Bulldogs can't seem to find the answer against Alabama. Bama rolls into Stanford Stadium and knocks off the Bulldogs 24-21. Jason, what are your thoughts about that game? What could the Bulldogs have maybe done a little bit differently to pull out a victory against an Alabama team that clearly was fired up coming out to Athens?
Alabama was definitely fired up going to that game. And really, when you think about it, Georgia's had so many good defensive players the last few years. They've been in the NFL draft. I think they're just trying to get that defense back in line. I just don't think the defense is quite playing at the level that Kirby Smart wants them to play at right now. So they're going to need to work on it. They're going to need to work on, that chemistry with that defense. They definitely have some things lacking with that defensive backfield, especially getting, that coverage on the play and even that defensive line, that pass rush. So I think this might just be one of those years for Georgia where they're just trying to, bring in new players, try to get that defense going good. Offensively, there's a lot of good things happening on the offense right now, but there's got to get that balance with the defense. And if they do that, the Dogs should be fine.
What are your thoughts about the Bulldogs? What do you think they need to do to get themselves back up into the top 5? Oh, he's shaking his head. Uh-oh.
Well, hey, listen, you're talking about one of the best programs in the country when you talk about the Georgia Bulldog. So, of course, their season is far from over. However, they do not have the defense that they had in those 2 championship seasons. So what you're seeing is a decline in the way they play because the talent is just not there. Now, they still have great frontline talent when you're talking about the top 11. But if last week, Rod and I talked about it, hey, man, NIL collective money is leveling the field. So now it's very hard for you to stack All-Americans behind All-Americans because I'm just going to leave and go somewhere where I can play. So Georgia is still in good position, but, man, they have a tough schedule ahead. And if they don't lose another game, it's going to be very interesting at the end of the season when they match up with those Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So I think a lot of people in the state of Georgia are excited to see 2 teams come in with 1 loss or undefeated and go in there and have a battle. We call it the clean, old-fashioned hate game. So I'm excited to see what the Bulldogs do and what Georgia Tech does the rest of the way. But I want to make one mention about Ole Miss right quick before we move on, if I can, Jonathan. That quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss.
Pin it right there. Hold on. Pin it right there. I'm going to take a quick station break, and then we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you.
Looking for a vehicle? Come to Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We're a family-owned dealership that's been serving the Atlanta area for over 40 years, offering an unbeatable selection of new Fords, Lincolns, and pre-owned vehicles. Enjoy our exceptional customer service and great financing options tailored just for you. Visit us at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in Morrow, Georgia, located just 20 minutes from downtown Atlanta. Call us at 678-364-3979 or visit online at allenvigilford.net.
It's Allen Vigil Ford. He is our title sponsor for high school football. And, of course, I'm employed by Allen Vigil, so if you need a car, you can call that number, and I'll be more than happy to help you or your family get into a vehicle. Well, before we get into Barry's comments here, we have a young lady here that's in the green room. I know you guys are very happy to see her. She is the lady that we call the Queen. Ms. Tree Dolan is in the building. Queen, welcome back.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you. Hi.
I just wanted to get that beautiful smile on there all by herself. Is she lovely? Well, Barry, you had a question about. Hope you didn't forget. Right before we went to the break, I think you were making a statement about your Bulldogs.
Hey, well, when you see Tree, you might forget everything. When you see Tree, when
I'm
she gets
saying.
Thank you.
But, good evening, Tree, as always. No, I was going to say this about Ole Miss. I wanted to mention Trinidad Chambliss, took over for Austin Simmons. And Austin Simmons started off very well, outstanding young man academically and athletically. So I'm so impressed with Lane Kiffin because he had two quarterbacks ready to play off the rip. And Chambliss is a kid from a Division II school. He transferred in from Division II. So what kind of scouting did Ole Miss do to go find this national championship quality quarterback from the D2 level to come up here and play like he's been playing at the D1, the big boy college football level? So shout out to Lane Kiffin, who's caught a lot of flack over the years, and he looked like he has Ole Miss in position to do some real damage this season. So I just wanted to mention that, how he had two quarterbacks ready to play, and that's very impressive.
And Lane mentioned himself, man, he had to get away from some of the habits. He was a head coach, but he was rolling like he was a young college student. And so he had to kind of just, dial. He was. I mean, Lane was a little fast and furious in real time. So he had to kind of dial that back. And he talked about some of the things that he had to, stop doing. And like I say, had to be a grown man and start operating like that. And I think that's really helped him. And I think there was, anytime a man loses his father, I think that's another thing too. It's very sobering. Monty Kiffin, his dad, a legendary football coach, and I think that he had a big impact in his life. And he made some comments at the funeral, but you could just tell that was very impactful. We've seen that with other athletes as well. So the good news is he's funneled that into really putting together a program that's going to be extremely dangerous. Because now they have a defense with his offensive mind, Ole Miss is going to be a threat late in this season, no doubt about it. All right, listen, man, we know that you got a lot going on. So before you leave, one last comment about what Georgia Tech's going to need to do to move themselves up, because right now, according to the rankings, let's see if I can pull it up here, the last rankings, I think they had Georgia Tech between 16 and 17. Some polls have them at 16, some polls have them at 17. So ahead of them right now are a big surprise. Right in front of them, the Commodores of Vanderbilt are undefeated. I'm saying it again. The Commodores of Vanderbilt are undefeated. I think this is the first time they've been undefeated this late into the season in, decades. Tennessee right in front of them, Ohio State, LSU. So basically they have about 4 teams in front of them. What do you think the Jackets are going to need to do to get by these guys and get to, that 12-team playoff, Rob? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think the fans should be happy that, they're ranked 2 weeks in a row. I mean, how often, in the last decade or so have you seen that happen? So, be very happy with what you've seen so far. They have the bye week this week, so they're preparing for Virginia Tech, a team that you don't know what you're going to get there. They lost their coach. They go in and play Wake Forest this week, I believe. So, I think every game Georgia Tech is going into, they can't feel overconfident for sure. The road game after Virginia Tech up at Duke is going to be a big game because that quarterback there, if he gets hot, you're in trouble. And he's been hot and cold, so you never know what you're going to get. But I really like what Blake Gideon is starting to do with the Georgia Tech defense. So that gives me a lot more confidence in them moving forward. Just the play of the defense, they limited Wake to 3 third-quarter points and 3 fourth-quarter points, right. And that really turned the game around and allowed the offense to take over. So, all the games are winnable, but we know what we've seen so far this season with a lot of different schools. thinking they had, a clear path, and all of a sudden that clear path is gone.
There's nothing about it, man. I think it's very, very important. Well, Rod, we always make sure that people know about our guest and co-host. So before you go, as we always do, the floor is yours.
Yeah, we're at GoJackets.com on the 247 Sports Network. Big thing today, we had a chance to talk to the two coordinators, which we normally don't do during the regular season. So a lot of good stuff from both of them. And you can find me using my name, Rod McKenzie, on Twitter to follow all our articles and everything that's going on with Georgia Tech.
That's it, guys. Rod McKenzie, the man behind the Jackets. Check him out. I'll put up on the ticker one more time. GoJackets.com. Rod, thanks so much for joining us, man. See you hopefully next week.
Yeah, good to see everybody. You all take care.
Bye-bye. It's Rod McKenzie from GoJackets.com, bringing you some good stuff about the Yellow Jackets. Yeah, man, I told you before the season, man, because of the games I saw them play last year against Notre Dame, without their starting quarterback, they stayed with Notre Dame for probably about 3 quarters before the game got a little away from them. And then to see them go and win as many games they did last year and win a bowl game, I said, hey, they might. And take Georgia to not 1, not 2, but 8 overtimes. I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Jackets might have a little something in the tank. So, yeah, I think the Yellow Jackets will definitely contend. And look, at the end of the day, I mean, they're ranked 18th, but here's how this works. If they win the ACC title, they're in.
Correct.
I'll give you rank 19th, 17th. If you win the ACC title, you're in. Now, I think this year you don't get necessarily the home game. Yeah, I think the higher ranked team gets the game, but I mean, they're in. And once you get in, anything that.
Absolutely.
So look for them to do some work. All right. So Tree, I'll just ask you, I know you don't do a lot of college football. What do you think about your Michigan team? Do you think that they have a shot right now? Only 1 loss, ranked number 20. Do you think that your boys can muscle their way back into the college football playoffs again?
I do. We know that we're dealing with a lot this season, and I still have hope for our Michigan Wolverines. And I think that what a lot of people don't understand is when all of this happens, it just fuels us even more to prove a point that we're just great athletes and we're going to get it done. So I do think that even though we're ranked on the higher end now, that we can make our way in and still make the playoffs. So I'm hoping so, and I'm believing for it. So we'll see how they continue to play if I'm right or not.
Well, here's the good news. I mean, a lot of people, me included, I'm not gonna lie, when they lost to Oklahoma early, I said, oh man, how good can they be? But as it turns out, Oklahoma's pretty darn good. And they're ranked in the top 5 in the country. So now that Michigan loss, doesn't look so bad because Michigan played them tooth and nail that whole game.
Yeah.
So, and I think
how I say anyway, I really like when we have a loss kind of at the beginning of the season, because I think that it changes your season. I'd much rather you lose in the beginning than in the end when it really matters. I mean, of course, every game matters, but a lot of time that loss changes the team and it helps move you up to a better spot. And it's like, you know what? We don't ever want this to happen again. It changes teams. And I think we have great work ethic, but you got to hate losing when you're a real athlete. You don't like losing and you don't like how it feels. So I'm not too upset about that loss. And like you said, Oklahoma's a great team. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. You certainly, especially in this era of the way the expanded playoffs, you rather lose early than late.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. Absolutely. I mean, and really, to looking at their schedule, let me take a look at it right here. So at least right now, for the rest of their schedule, they really don't play a ranked team until, of course, those guys from next state over, the Ohio State Buckeyes. They close out their season with them. But the other teams at this point, again, that can change. But the other teams are not ranked. And of course, the other game that they always have to worry about is those guys in the green and white, aka the Sparties. They play them a couple of weeks before Ohio State. So really, for Michigan, that last month, from the end of October to the end of November, if they can somehow, get through those games, and maybe you're going to lose to Ohio State, that's probably not too bad. So we can take that. All right, let's go to Let's go ahead and take a look at social media. Our man Morris Shields was in the building. Morris, we didn't get you before. I guess you were talking about how to get the running backs and the wide receivers at the flats for Georgia, but he also says this. He said Michigan didn't have their linebacker until the second half, I guess, that Oklahoma game. I think is what he's saying. Am I reading that right?
Right. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, he was suspended. He couldn't play in the first half. Yeah, because he was suspended in the game prior. Mm-hmm.
So Trey Morris is saying, hey.
Yeah.
I just think if your boy had been in the whole game, who knows?
Right. Now, that was a great game, though, Jonathan. You said it. I mean, they were right in the game with them. It was just the fact that you're talking about a Bryce Underwood, one of the top freshmen in the country, playing in his first big road game. And hey man, they offensively they just could not get it on the board. If you remember, Justin Haynes got frustrated with something and was arguing with walking beside Bryce Underwood in that game at some point in time. I think it was in the first half. And then they came out in the second half, and you saw Justice take it to the house in that first play of the second half. So hey, Michigan can play with anybody in the country. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be
one more time.
Say that again. Say that again, Tree.
Yeah, say that one more time.
Oh no question. They can play with anybody in the country. They have the talent up there by far. It's just that what is Bryce Underwood? How is he going to develop by the time they get to that Ohio State game? And then we're going to see what's happening then. Because if they win that game, then they're definitely getting in. Now they also have to play in that Big Ten championship. Now will Ohio State beat? Will they play them twice, or will that drop Ohio State out the way, and they have to play another Big Ten foe like an Indiana or somebody like that? So that's going to be interesting down the stretch. But like I say, man, college football is wide open. I don't believe there's a team in the top 25 that cannot be beat. I think all those teams can be beat by far. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no question. Jason, kind of, what's your take here? Looking at that top 10, that top 20. SEC and Big Ten seem like they are still ruling the roost right now.
They're definitely the power conferences. You know, they have the teams, they have the players, they have the coaches right now. So these are definitely the conferences I think are going to be leading the way for a while. But it'll be interesting to see how the ACC teams can measure up in some of those games if you get into a playoff game. You see a lot of good things from University of Miami. They seem to have a really solid team, really great quarterback right there. So I think Miami could actually be right into with all of them as well in that mix right there. And who knows who else could be a surprise team right now, but definitely looks like when it comes to the depth of the programs, it's going to be Big Ten and SEC. And I think we'll see as the schedules play out who those teams are going to be, because they play each other enough, these ranked teams, that we'll really see by the end of the season who's going to be the good teams and who's going to be in the playoffs.
Well, you talk about Miami. Certainly, we're going to find out about Miami very soon. I mean, obviously, they're ranked number 3 in the country. They have a situation where they brought in a young man from out of Florida, Carson Beck, and he's looked like, for the most part, what we thought we were going to get at Georgia. He's been lights out for the Canes. But we're gonna have a nice little game, because next week they're going to be playing against the Seminoles, their arch rival, coming up this Saturday. So we're going to find out right away as far as where the SEC is going to stand, because obviously it's going to be tough for both of those guys to advance from out of the ACC. So it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on in college football for the rest of the year. Speaking of very interesting, hey, we got to take a break. But we got some interesting things coming up in the way of high school football. We got a special guest coming up with us next. Find out who it is. You got to keep it locked right here on the Real Talk Sports Show. Be back in just a moment.
Hey, sports fans, tune in for live high school football Fridays, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at AllenVigilFord.net.
Keep it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, even though we were not there, we were not able to cover that game. That was from our good buddies Atlanta Metro Sports off of Instagram. That was the final moments of probably the game of the week on the South Side. North Clayton knocks off previously undefeated Stevenson 42-41. And we got the head coach, guy we haven't had on for a while. Good to have you back. Coach Cap Burnett, the 4. What's going on, sir? Good to have you back, Coach.
How you doing? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Well, Coach, you guys, you told us in media days over the last couple of years, you say, hey, man, give me some time. I'm getting some things put together with this program. And it seems like it's all coming to fruition. You guys now 5-0. And like I said, knocking off a previous undefeated Stevenson team. What's been the difference for you guys this year?
Really just stay in the course. Stay in the course and, really trusting and believing in what we do and the way we do things. All our boys and kids have bought in to the things my coaches and myself have put in place. And I think that's the biggest thing right there, the buy-in from the boys, the parents, and the community.
No doubt. Barry Brown, you are good friends with Cap, and you do a lot of stuff down there in that area. What do you think about what his team's been able to put together this year on the gridiron itself?
Hey, man. First of all, congratulations, Cap. Hey, Coach, listen, man. That picture of me over there with y'all back in the day with me and Willie, your boy Willie Jones came over there to see you. And I still, man, that picture popped up not too long ago on my Facebook memories. So I was like, man, I said, Coach Simmons, we got to get Coach Burnett and his team on here. And so I'm happy we made it happen. So thank you for taking the time to come on, Coach Burnett. And listen, man, we're so proud of you all because we know how Clayton County football has taken a hit over the years. And for y'all to come back 5-1, man, your defense playing strong. I know you a defensive-minded coach because, the kind of player you were when you were playing, and I'm bringing that wood. And so I know you're excited about your boys playing hard. And so my first question to you is, I heard you say the community has bought in, the players have bought in. What was the turning point, though? Like, was there a specific thing that was done or that your staff did to get the kids to buy in? Or was it a certain player? You had some leadership on your team from the player standpoint that, like, hey, guys, it's time for us to turn the table here at North Clayton. Was there a specific moment or a player that made that happen?
Well, it was like I said, the off season or January. I mean, the coaches definitely been putting in time. You know what I'm saying? Even before this year, but this is a player-led team this year, and I think that's the biggest difference. We have our senior linebacker Clayton Burnett, our junior quarterback Justin Murphy, and our one of our offensive tackles here, senior London Goss. You know what I mean? Those guys really stepped up for us, and kind of just when you have those players that's able to reiterate the things that you're saying from a coach's point of view, their peers view it different and hear it different when it's coming from saying one of them. And I think that was the big turnaround this year, that we had true leadership coming from the boys this year.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
You mentioned it was a Burnett playing. By any chance, any relation, Coach?
Yeah, that's my son. Yeah. Yeah, that's my son.
I want to get that out there, man. Listen, your family tree, bro. You got some DNA, sir. You, your brother, now your son. I mean, what y'all drinking over there? You got some in that Kool-Aid we need to all sip on? Or?
Hey, man, it's just a blessing from God, man, and I thank him every morning for it.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Well, you mentioned, Bob, so your son doing great stuff on defense. I remember it seemed like it was just yesterday, but actually it was 2 years ago. We were there at the media day, and you were introduced to this young quarterback. I think at the time it was like a freshman or a sophomore, Justin Murphy, and now he is a 4-star candidate, and he's been actually dominant. What's been really the key, the transition from him moving from this young player to now being a guy that's being one of the most sought-after players in the country?
Well, I mean, when he came on campus, he was special. I know, you look at how he plays and how fast he is. That's a given, man. When he steps out on the track or on the field, he's definitely going to catch an eye. But he's been a loyal young man from the start. You know what I mean? He's been down. I remember in middle school when he said, "Coach, I can't wait to get up there to North Clayton." And You know, and I told him, I said, it's gonna, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna take some time. And but as long as you stay loyal and stay committed, you know what I'm saying, the sky's not even the limit for you. And that's just what he's done. Put in the work, time in and time out, you know, doing the extra things outside of just our practice time, you know what I'm saying, just putting a great work ethic and just doing the little things, the small details. And that's what we talked about after last year, you know what I'm saying, going into this year. I said, man, you know, don't worry about the big picture right now. Hey, pay attention to the small details, and then watch how your story flourish the next year. And here we are, you know, sitting 5-1 with him leading the pack on offense.
Yeah, definitely, man. Great stuff. And we hope that. Coaches, he disappeared.
He said, "Oh,
Okay. I guess the excitement overwhelmed
Hey,
him.
Coach. Oh, yes, sir. They're gonna come back. They probably internet inside the school, so that internet
Right.
probably.
That does happen sometimes.
But I wanted to say this, Jonathan. Coach Burnett just mentioned some words that were amazing, in which any great program, I'm talking about from the pro level to college to high school to even to Little League, when you hear the coaches saying these words, you know you're building a program or you have a good program. He talked about leadership. He talked about loyalty. He mentioned being committed. And then he said work ethic. Anytime you hear them words, you talking about something good. Those are good things when you start saying those words. So I'm very excited, man, to see how far North Clay can go this season when you're talking about having a foundation of leadership, loyalty, commitment, and work ethic, man. Hey, I love it. I love it.
Well, I think you hit it on the head, Barry. I think that the Wi-Fi has decided is no longer going to function properly inside the school. So coaches, I see. We got him back. Hold on a second. Coach is back. Let's get him back. There he is. Okay, we got you, Coach. Barry, said again. You were giving some kudos to the coach again about buying.
Oh yeah, yes, Coach Burnett. I was saying, I know something is strong and powerful going on over there at North Clayton because you mentioned the word leadership, you mentioned the word loyalty, you mentioned the word commitment, and you mentioned the word work ethic. And I know those are the fundamental foundation blocks for anything good happening, man. So I'm just excited to see how far y'all are gonna go this year, man. And I know y'all have, I think y'all have Luella coming up next. What are some of the things that Luella poses that may be a threat to your season coming up in this next game?
Well, unfortunately, Barry, we're gonna have to ask him that offline because
we lost
the coaches. We lost him. Well, he's gone completely. Before he was in the green room, he is now exited. Right. He's off the stage. I don't know. He's somewhere in the great low tech area.
Yeah, hopefully he'll come back. Yeah, those schools got to block out all those.
Wait a minute. It informed me that the coach is back. There he is.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. My bad. Okay, my apologies. I'm still at the school. We just we had finished practice. We had a coaches meeting, so I'm in the weight room now. So my apologies.
Yeah, so listen, man, I appreciate you guys, and you know, one of the things that we try to do is we try to push the segment back to 7:30 because we know guys will come right after practice. We used to do a little bit later, but you know, the OG getting a little older now, so I got to shut it down a little bit earlier. So they come start time. All right, go ahead and ask Coach the question again about what you were saying with the buy-in and then also about their upcoming game. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Coach, I just wanted to commend you on the words that you use describing your team, because I know those are the fundamental blocks of building a great program. You mentioned the word leadership, loyalty, commitment, and work ethic. So those are great words, and I know it's working because y'all sitting at 5-1. So my next question is, you got Luella coming up next. What do they pose? What kind of resistance are they going to give you this upcoming Friday night?
Well, you know, Luella always have great athletes. They always a tough opponent. You know what I mean? They do a great job out there. They're young men, you know, good young men that play hard-nosed football, man. And that's what, you know, we expect from them. You know, it's not our first time playing them. So, you know, we've been out there. You know, they coming to us this year. So we just expecting a hard-nosed football game. You know, they run the ball hard. You know what I mean? The linemen are physical. So we just looking for, you know what I'm saying, a tough, hard fought football game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a thumper. Now, is this a regional game, Coach, coming up?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay. All right. Little Henry County versus Clayton County, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So Coach is trying to represent. See if he got knocked off the Cab County last week. We're going to try to knock off Henry County this week. So he's
Yeah,
holding the torch
man.
for Clayton County. Well, Coach, listen, we're going to try to be there. I shouldn't say try to be there. I'm going to be there. It's just we're not sure whether they're going to stream the game or do some highlights because I got to give Jason a break, so he's not going to be down on Friday. But I noticed that your game is there, and Jonesboro and doesn't have a game in Terra Stadium. I don't think has a game either. So we're going to look to get down there, at least get you some pregame, maybe some highlights, and who knows, I might set up the live stream to get you guys some full game coverage as well.
Awesome. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. Well, listen, Coach, how can people find out more about the school? Do you guys have like a website they can go to for the football program or a social media? Do you know what it is by any chance?
Yeah, they can go. We have our North Clayton Athletics uh, website that you can go on and see. And then we also have our, we have our Instagram at NCHS FB, where you can go check out all the highlights and, see all the great things the young men and all the coaches are doing. And we also
Barry,
on Twitter at the same at.
I didn't want to say anything in the beginning, but now we're getting towards the end. Check out Coach. You can tell that he knows the program to come up. I mean, he was well groomed before, but check the beard is all well groomed. Got some waves off the top. I see you, Coach. I see. That's it. Yeah, he knows he's about to be on camera. So he knows. Yeah, I got everything nice and working. Yes, sir. Well, Coach, man, listen, man, we appreciate you. We know how hard it is when you guys coming right off of practice. And obviously, big game coming off a big, huge win for the program. So again, we appreciate you guys taking some time out. So we're going to come down there, like I said, we'll get some type of coverage. And if any way possible, we can stream the game for you, we'll definitely do it.
Good deal. Good deal. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me on.
That's the man.
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Cap Burnett.
Yes, sir.
Number 4. Yes, sir. All right, Coach. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good one.
Yeah, man, Coach doing some good stuff over there, Barry Tree. I mean, I know it makes you feel good to see some of these guys, these programs, the coaches investing not just on the field, but you hear them talk about the stuff they're doing off the field to make them good young men. I know that's something that's really near and dear to you.
Yeah,
but you do
yeah,
off
absolutely.
the field is what matters most.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, they can be great athletes, and we see that. But it's very exciting to hear what these young men are doing off the field. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. And then, hey, Falcons fans, good news. The Falcons won. All right, we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a minute. Don't go nowhere. Thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is Patrick Willis, and this is Real Talk Sports.
Man, Patrick Willis, and I believe now he's in the Hall of Fame now, isn't he? Patrick Willis,
Yes.
There he is.
He got inducted, not this past Hall of Fame, but the one before.
So I thought, yeah, and I told him at the time, I said, hey, man, you about to go in. He was like, you should. I said, yeah. I said, there it is. He is now officially in as part of the Hall of Fame. Patrick Willis. Hopefully we'll get him on the broadcast. Well, Tree, I know that that smile is getting broader and broader week by week because it does appear that your Detroit Lions continue to roar through the NFL schedule. And last week, they chalked up another victory, this time beating the brakes off the Cleveland Browns 34-10. Now I know you predict every year, especially these last couple of years, your team has improved, that your Lions are going to be a big threat in the NFL. But I mean, what's really the key to your boys this year? Because it looks like they're doing it everywhere. Your offense, defense. What's the key with your boys?
The key is that we're on a mission. It's hunting season. And the fact that the year before last, we thought we were going to the Super Bowl and then we lost. And then last year, it was just like, oh my goodness, we thought we were going to the Super Bowl and then we lost at home to the Washington Commanders. And so this year, I really feel like we're just on a mission. And we have a lot of work to do. Even though we did get that win and it was an impressive win with the numbers, the players were still talking about the many things that they should have and could have done better. And that's what I like. They're not just okay with getting W's and winning. They want to make sure that they're winning and doing everything that they're supposed to do, because everybody's mind is set on Super Bowl. But of course, we have one game at a time. We can't look ahead, but that is our goal. So I really feel like this year could be our year. I know I said
they
that
look good.
2 years.
But at the end of the day, why wouldn't you? They clearly, if you look at this lineup they put out there, they have one of the best teams in the NFL. You look at Jared Goff. Here's a guy that was, kind of, I think, somewhat underrated. Even though he got his team to a Super Bowl, they kind of just But he's clearly showing that one-on-one trade. Yep, I know the Rams have won, but the Lions have won quite a few, and they probably have right now one of the best running tandems in the NFL.
We do. It's not probably. We set an NFL record. We have the best. Factual. I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Got to regroup here for a second. About to voice some more kudos.
She letting you know, Jonathan, what it is.
Yeah. Our last game, we broke the record. And the only other two duos, there are other four are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I'm just saying.
Well, that's called keeping it on the real. And she's done that. She's letting you know, hey, my boys are the real deal. Montgomery didn't have one of his best games, but didn't matter. Jameer Gibbs, 15 carries, 91 yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to be one of the most clutch receivers in the NFL. 7 receptions, only 70 yards, but 2 of them for TDs.
Yeah.
And another couple picked up key first downs against a Browns team. Now, don't get me wrong. You look at their record and you think, but the Browns have a very, very good defensive team. And Detroit had no problem moving the ball on them as they racked up 34 points. They were up actually 20-7 at the half. And then dropped the hammer on them in the fourth quarter to pull away with 2 more touchdowns. Yeah, man. Detroit looks like they're the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I give them some kudos.
Yeah, what's amazing about them, Jonathan, is the fact that they lost both of their coordinators, and they, had the first game to get the season started. That was rough on them with that loss. But now you're seeing they're kicking into gear. So again, we're talking about strong leadership from their head coach, and now it looks like they're not missing a beat, even after losing 2 coordinators, the offensive and defensive coordinator. And hey, man, Detroit is for real. This is their time. They're in their window of winning a championship. So every team must be aware of the Detroit Lions by far.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jason.
If the Lions stay healthy, which I know last year was definitely a concern, but they can stay healthy this year. What's your prediction for their overall record at the end of the season? How many wins?
Oh, if they stay healthy, I know y'all may think I'm crazy. I'm gonna say 15-2, right? Yep. If we're healthy, because I really don't think when we come to play, we come to win. And last year, the thing that really got us were injuries. And we all know this. Literally, most of the season, we did not have our defense. Aiden Hutchinson got hurt at the beginning of the season. And even after he had missed, I want to say it was 3 or 4 games, he still was leading the entire NFL in sacks. Come on. Mm-hmm. It was just, that really hurt us. And our defense, literally everybody was injured towards the end of the season. So inevitably, defense is what wins championships. So I can understand, but I still have hope. But I really do feel like we won't lose too many games. Maybe 1 more, maybe 2 more, but I really think like I say, it's hunting season. We're on a mission. And I feel like when the Detroit Lions play with that grit that we have, that they're unbeatable.
Yeah, no doubt. Lions are a very, very good team, and they are playing with an edge. As we remember when they played against a team where their coordinator went, they took no prisoners. Matter of fact, beat the brakes off them and then made comments like, well, who left again? What was the guy's name? Yeah, a nasty beating they gave the Bears. Yeah. I think the Bears are playing much better, ironically, since that game. And I think next time go out, they might give you guys a little bit better game. But clearly, Detroit is playing with bad intent. Let's go take a look at a couple of scores here, and then we'll get ready to talk about the team down the road that did a little business. All right, let's take a look here. First of all, a bizarre game with the Cowboys, a 40-40 tie. Okay, I'm just trying to, I don't want to, I'm just trying to get my ears wrapped around how the NFL could allow a team to play. Somebody said they play for 4 hours? And all you're going to get is a tie?
Yeah.
Hey,
you couldn't get something like they do in college?
It's the new rules. They can't have, the collective bargaining agreement. They won't let them stay out there longer because, they don't want anybody to get hurt in these double overtimes and things of that nature. So, yeah, man, once both teams get a chance to have the ball, it's a wrap. If you don't get the game, if you don't score, that's it. But, I actually like that rule, Jonathan. I like, both teams get it. If you don't score a touchdown, the other team gets a chance to get the ball. And then if they score a touchdown and you kick the field goal, the game's over. Because, so go back to that game. If Dallas scores a touchdown when they get the ball in that overtime, the game is over with. But they didn't. Right. They kicked the field goal. So now, Green Bay gets a chance to get the ball. So they got down. All they could do was muster another field goal. Time ran out. Game over. I like it. Players don't get hurt. Move on to the next week. And you just got to live with that tie. You better hope that tie doesn't come back to haunt you.
But it is. But it may not come back to haunt them. But other teams, it's not fair that, no, this is my thing.
Yeah.
If you tie, that counts as half of a win.
Right, that's right.
And it's not a win. You either win or you lose. And so I think that no football game should end in a tie because now you're giving a team half of a win that they did not win.
Yeah. But it's also half a loss, though, too, Tree. It's a half a loss, too.
It is.
It can come back to haunt them. Yeah.
It is. But the fact that it's half of a win is what's going to hurt other people outside of, the half of a loss. Right. I do get that it's a half of a win and half of a loss, but it's the half of a win that can really change things in divisions that are really tough, So
that's true.
I personally just don't like it. I wish that they would find some way to decide who wins. There should never be a tie in the National Football League. That's just my opinion. Of course, I don't want players getting hurt. So I do understand that, but ending in a tie is just like,
I got an idea right quick. They should go to, like in soccer, they should go to put your field goal kickers out there and do it that way and have them kick going back in distance. And that decides the game because the field goal kickers are not going to get hurt.
But they could. So I don't know about that one either. They could.
But not as often, Tree. The probability is less for those guys.
That's true.
So maybe they can go do that. Who can make the most field goals? Who can make the field goals? And they have the 3 distances. They go start at the 40, 50, and 60. Boom. Game over.
Okay, then we go on and notice it. Well, like I said, very bizarre thing. But also what's very bizarre, I should really say, is the Falcons look like the Falcons that we thought they were going to be over the last couple of years. They actually came out and played, for the most part, an almost complete game as they knocked off the Commanders 34-27. And Michael Penix, I give the guy mad kudos. He said, hey, y'all were killing me last week. Let's look at these stats. Penix, 20 of 26, 313 yards and 2 touchdowns and just a single pick for young Mr. Penix. Outstanding game for him. Bijan Robinson, another Another great game, 17 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. But the other guy who was epic in that game was Drake London, 8 catches, 110 yards, and a couple of spectacular catches late in the game to allow the Falcons to win. So, yeah, big kudos to the Falcons. And, guys, can you believe this? Statistically, remember when I said, and I know sometimes people say stats for losers, but statistically, did you know that the Falcons defense is in the NFL?
I didn't
What
hear
you say? What? Say it again, Jonathan.
I was listening to 92.9. They said statistically, the Falcons are in the top 10 in the league in defense.
I
The
believe
top
that.
team in the NFL?
Well, it might have been the NFC, but they
Top
said top 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
top
NFC? Are you sure
Huh?
they weren't talking about
Yeah,
the NFC
I can
South?
believe that.
I don't. The NFC, the whole NFC or the NFC South?
No.
NFC.
Wow. Wow, you
No,
really
they-
throwing.
Over the
I know.
Green Bay
Hey,
Packers?
man. Tree like.
Wow.
It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
No, they
Right.
play. You got to remember that defensive effort against Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
was a very great effort. That game,
That's
and
true.
that helped their numbers by far. But if you look at them, they're making situational stops, which is the whole key in the NFL.
Yeah.
If you can
All
get
right,
some sacks and you can get some situational stops, yeah, your defense can look pretty good.
Okay, Teresa, I know this is stunning for you, and I'm
It
going to
is.
close with these stats right here. This is going to really you're sitting down, Tree?
I'm sitting down.
Yeah, she's sitting down. This is off the Fox Sports website. NFL team defensive rankings through week 4. Number 1, fewest yards allowed. The Cleveland Browns ranked number 1 at 225, 222.5 yards a game. The number 2 ranked team defensively for yards allowed in the NFL is the Atlanta Falcons, who've only given up a total of 244 yards on average per game. That's right, guys. I cannot believe what I'm hearing here. The Falcons are number 2 in the NFL. And here's another shocker.
Okay.
The number 2 passing defense in the NFL is the Atlanta Falcons. I can't believe what I'm reading here. The Atlanta Falcons.
It says
Are
they're
in
the
the-
overall top defense in the NFL or just passing?
Number 2 behind the Browns,
Okay.
as far as yards allowed. Number 2 behind the Browns. And again, it's a lot of this is because really
I had to
this
Google
team
that.
reminds me a lot of the team that went to look at Trees. He's like, I don't believe it.
I still don't believe you.
I just had to look it up. I mean, I believe you, Jonathan, but wow. I don't know. I'm
She
just
sounded-
shocked.
She said, I was seeing in black and white with my own eyes. I can't trust
Yeah, I
the future.
did.
She's
I was
wearing
like,
glasses too on top of that. Look, she's ain't wearing glasses. I don't know what he's looking at. He could have that song Double Vision. I don't know what he's looking at. It could be 22nd in the league. He don't know what he's reading.
No,
But yeah,
I mean,
I think. Look, I think the difference is that if you look at what they did, and I know guys will get that. For those of you watching, I know I got to wrap it up. It's 8:00. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I think the big difference with this team is it kind of reminds you what happened 7 or 8 years ago when Arthur Blank was like, "Hey, you guys got to draft some starters." And there's no question, like they did in 2015 and 16, they have brought legitimate frontline star starters to this team. You got a guy in the young man from out of Notre Dame, the X-Men, Mr. Xavier. Here's a guy that's got 2 interceptions already. Could have technically had 4 had he not dropped a couple. You got 2 guys not come off the edge in Jalen Walker and with James Pierce Jr. So now the Falcons actually, I mean, I think they're almost in double digits of sacks already, and that is astonishing. So I think what you're seeing with this Falcons team, that they now have some players that can really be playmakers. See, they had players before, but now they have guys that can actually make big plays to help, go along with, Jesse Bates III, who was doing that when he got here. So yeah, man, shockingly, this Falcons team has looked, on paper.
it is shocking, but I get it now.
But they got their work cut out for them. Good news, they have a bye coming up.
Mm-hmm.
She said, now I've seen it myself with black and white. I believe you now, so you can You can do it. All right, guys. We ran a little overtime, but we're gonna wrap it up here. You know how we guys do it before I let
sorry.
you
Can
go.
I say something really quick before we go? It's super quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that I just found out that every year the Atlanta Hawks does a million meal pack where they invite anybody to come down. You can volunteer, go to State Farm Arena. We had over 5,000 volunteers. We packed over 1 million bags for people in need. So it's something that they do annually. So I just want to encourage other people. You can actually sign up as a group or go individually. I went by myself and just had a wonderful time. They have DJs, they have a little party out afterwards for you. But just want to encourage people, if you're looking for an event to give back or bonding with teammates or whatever, that would be a great thing to do. And you can find that at atlantahawks.com.
Actually, you're right. They do it every year, and it is phenomenal. And I've heard this before that people have went. And the crazy thing, I've missed it like every year. Every year, something happens on my schedule. I can't do it. So crazy. But anyway, yeah. It just when you look at the highlights and the tapes of people have went, like you said, it's really giving back. It's a lot of fun. People get a chance to meet people they've never met before. Like they said, the music's on and popping, and it really is a great way to give back. And it really does feed a lot of people. So you're right. Kudos to the Hawks. And like you said, check them out at AtlantaHawks.com. That's right.
Yes.
Good deal. All right, everybody. First of all, we're going to let our cameraman sign off. And I think he's got a wonderful Vimeo page where you can see some of our highlights. Mr. Jason Huntingham, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I am the cameraman. That's why I put it on here, because usually on Friday nights I'm down on the sidelines of winning players and getting great highlight reel footage. And it's something that I just love to do, being down there, just feeling the energy of the game being down there. And yes, Vimeo, if you go to my Vimeo page, you can pull up the highlights from all the high school football games all season long. And I'm excited to be able, watch football. The Falcons, all our great teams right there. So the Falcons are doing a lot better. I think we're going to have a really good season. That Buffalo game in a couple of weeks will not be an indication on our overall season. I don't think it's going to be a tough game, but we're going to do it good overall. And I'm looking forward to being on the sidelines for more great high school football this year with some of our Clayton County programs.
Our man, Jason Huntingham, a.k.a. the cameraman. Jason, thank you so much, man. Take care.
Yep.
Next, Mr. Valley Brown, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Well, it's an honor to be with you, Jonathan. Having this great show. Tree, Jason, Rob McKenzie, man, awesome. And then Coach Burnett tonight. Awesome show once again, Jonathan. So salute to you. And hey, I'm Barry Brown, author of the #1 book for youth student athletes, the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life. The organization is Youth Education and Sport, nonprofit that helps young people become the adults that they are destined to be by understanding that they have to put in work. They have to have the work ethic. They have to have a vision. They have to have good habits. They have to be focused. And we help them and give them the tools to be just that. So listen, thank you. And if you need to get in touch with us, visit youtheducationandsports.org, or as you see it scrolling at the bottom of the page, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Student Athlete Playbook, and you can get in touch with us that way. Thank you again, Jonathan, and good night, everybody.
Mr. Valley Brown, thank you, sir. Now, the one and only queen, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching Real Talk Sports. You can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International. I do want to let you all know that our turkey and trimmings giveaway that we're doing in November is coming up. So if anybody wants to volunteer, or if someone wants to donate or pay for a box for a family in need, just email us at info@makingitbetterme.org and let us know. But we're starting that now, and hopefully we will be able to exceed our number of 100 families. So have a great evening, and thanks for watching Real Talk Sports.
The queen has spoken. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Yours truly, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. You can follow me on social media, or just follow the show, Real Talk Sports, the #7. And remember, please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Like I said, we're just a few subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers, which would be a really cool number for us to reach. Well, guys, the other thing I want to just let you know before we get off this broadcast, please, it's very, very important. We talk a lot about what's going on the field, but I want to talk to you what's going on off the field. A lot of things are happening here in this world. So I want to encourage you, if you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. And here's the cool thing. It's like, although he's great, God is great. Right now, he's trending. Look on social media, more and more people now are understanding that they need to have a relationship with God, the relationship with their son, Jesus Christ. So, hey, man, what better time than now when you have other people looking to encourage you and help you along the way? But the main thing is to do this. Number one, repent of your sins. Number two, believe that Jesus came here fully man, fully God, died for your sins, but rose from the dead. If you do, two great things happen. Number one, become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, which we all have to do that, you get to go to that wonderful, spectacular place called heaven where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, you never get old, you never die, you never cry, and you now are face to face with God, Jesus Christ, and all the people of love. Matter of fact, you're in a place that's so beautiful, so fantastic. Every building adorned with every spectacular jewel you can think of. So if you're in the bling, wait till you get to heaven. Streets are paved with a gold so pure it's translucent, and you avoid that nasty place called hell. All the things I just mentioned won't be in hell. It's just the opposite. It's dark, it's dreary, it's fiery, it's painful, and you, my friend, would be locked up with the devil and all his demonic host. And most of all, you're cut off from God and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know. I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, everybody. We're going to sign off now. As we do each week. We certainly say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long. Take care.